Welcome back, everyone. Ready to dive into something pretty interesting today.
Definitely.
Have you ever heard of the 5 a.m. Club?
Oh, yeah. It's by Robin Sharma.
Yeah, that's the one. So this book dives into this whole idea of waking up crazy early, like before the sun even thinks about rising.
Right.
And it makes this pretty bold claim.
It suggests that 5 a.m. is like this secret weapon for unlocking, a more productive, more fulfilling, maybe even happier life.
Exactly. Now, I know what you're thinking.
5 a.m. sounds a little rough.
Yeah, to say the least. But the idea is that this early hour, when most of the world is still asleep, could be the key to, well, tapping into some next level potential.
Exactly. And it's not just about like dragging yourself out of bed, at the crack of dawn. It's about using that quiet time strategically.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Strategically.
Hmm.
So how so?
Well, think about it. At 5 a.m., the world is quiet. Your phone isn't blowing up with notifications, emails aren't flooding in, and you have this clear space in your mind.
I see. It's like having a head start on the day before the chaos sets in.
Exactly. And a lot of high achievers really swear by these early morning routines. It's like their secret weapon.
Interesting. So why 5 a.m.? What's so special about that specific time?
Well, during those early hours, our brains are actually wired to be more focused.
Really?
Yeah, we're less likely to get distracted, and our minds are more open to, well, new ideas, learning, creativity. It's like we can outsmart that part of our brains that's always looking for the easy way out.
You mean that voice in our heads that says, hit snooze or go back to sleep?
Exactly. Our ancient brain, as it's sometimes called, it's wired for those instant rewards and avoiding anything that feels even slightly challenging.
Okay, I'm starting to see the appeal.
Yeah.
But so once we actually manage to drag ourselves out of bed at 5 a.m., what do we do at that time? We're not just talking about staring at a wall in silence for an hour, right?
No, not exactly. There's actually a structure to it, a way to maximize that precious hour.
Oh, okay. Tell me more.
One popular approach is to break it up into 3 segments, each about 20 minutes long.
20 minutes each. Okay. And what are these segments?
Well, the first 20 minutes is all about intense physical activity.
Whoa, intense right out the gate.
Yeah.
So we're talking about what kind of activity?
It could be anything that gets your blood pumping and those endorphins flowing. A quick HIIT workout, a brisk walk, even some vigorous stretching would do the trick.
So it's not just about waking up the body, it's like jump-starting the brain for the day.
Precisely. Exercise isn't just good for our physical health. There's a lot of research showing that it really benefits our cognitive function, too.
Oh, that makes sense, like a warm-up for your mind. I know that when I exercise in the morning, I definitely feel more alert and ready to tackle my day.
Exactly.
Okay, so that's the first 20 minutes. What about the next 20?
This segment is all about reflection, taking that time to quiet the mental chatter, just cultivate a sense of peace and clarity before the day really gets going.
Okay, so we go from intense physical activity to complete stillness.
Yeah, you can think of it that way. It's a shift from external action to internal awareness.
And how do we cultivate this stillness?
It could be through meditation, maybe some journaling, or even just spending a few moments in quiet contemplation, setting intentions for the day.
So it's all about nurturing our emotional well-being right from the start, building a foundation of what inner strength before the demands of the day hit us.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Because let's be honest, life can get pretty hectic. And without that solid inner foundation, it's easy to feel overwhelmed and reactive.
That's so true. Okay, so we've got the move segment, we got the reflect segment. What about the final 20 minutes of this 5 a.m. power hour?
That's dedicated to personal growth.
Growth, huh? It's pretty broad.
It is. It could be anything that expands your knowledge, sharpens your skills, or broadens your perspective.
So like reading, taking an online course, working on a personal project.
Exactly.
Interesting. So instead of starting the day by, scrolling through social media or getting sucked into the news cycle, we're using this time to actively feed our minds with something that's truly nourishing and beneficial.
Precisely. And the key here is to be intentional about what you choose to focus on during this time.
Right. So it's like giving ourselves a mini masterclass in something we're passionate about before the rest of the world even wakes up.
I love that.
But, okay, let's be real. Building a 5 a.m. habit,
Yeah.
that sounds incredibly daunting.
It is a challenge, no doubt. But the good news is that it doesn't have to happen overnight.
Oh, phew. So we're not talking about setting our alarm clocks for 5 a.m. tomorrow and expecting to magically become morning people.
No, not quite. There's a process to it, just like with any new habit.
Okay, so what does that process look like? Baby steps, I hope.
It often takes around 66 days to really solidify a new behavior pattern.
66 days. Okay, so that's like 2 months or so. Is there some science behind that number?
It is. Research suggests it's about how long it takes for our brains to actually create new neural pathways.
Interesting.
And you can think of this process in 3 stages. The first stage, you need a lot of willpower. You're consciously pushing yourself to wake up earlier, and it's going to feel like a struggle at first.
Yeah, I was going to imagine.
But as you push through those initial days and weeks, you start to build some momentum. And then comes the tricky part, the midpoint slump.
Oh, the dreaded slump.
Yeah.
I've definitely experienced that before with other habits.
Yeah, everyone goes through it. It's when your motivation starts to wane and
Yeah.
the snooze button starts looking really tempting. So having strategies in place to power through this phase is crucial.
Okay, what kind of strategies? What helps?
Accountability can be a game changer. Having someone else, like a friend who's also trying to build a new habit or joining a group or a community can make all the difference. And, celebrating small wins is also key.
I like that. So we're not just focusing on the end goal, we're acknowledging the small victories along the way.
Exactly. Because building new habits, it's a marathon, not a sprint. And honestly, celebrating those small wins makes the journey a lot more enjoyable.
So if we can push through that midpoint slump, what happens then?
Well, eventually you reach a point where this new habit, in this case, waking up early, becomes almost automatic. It's not a struggle anymore, it's just part of your routine.
Wow, so it really is possible to transform yourself into a morning person. But it sounds like this whole 5 a.m. concept, it's about more than just the morning routine, right?
You're absolutely right. It's actually about cultivating a mindset that's common among high
A
achievers.
mindset that sets them apart. Tell me more about this mindset.
It's about embracing challenges, pushing beyond your comfort zone, and making conscious choices that support your goals, even when those choices are difficult or unpopular.
Okay, I'm intrigued. So are you saying that most people tend to shy away from those things?
In a way, yeah. But the people who accomplish extraordinary things, they don't. They run towards the challenges, not away from them. And choosing to wake up early, well, that's just one example of that mindset in action.
So are we saying that only a certain type of person can achieve this level of success?
Not at all. But let's say, for argument's sake, that only 5% of people operate with this kind of mindset. It's not about being elitist or anything. It's just an observation that the people who achieve extraordinary things, they often approach life a bit differently.
I see. So it's not about being a certain type of person. It's about cultivating a certain way of thinking, a way of approaching challenges and opportunities.
Exactly.
Okay. So they're waking up early. What are they doing?
They're also investing time in deep work while others are getting distracted. They're continuously learning and improving their skills and building a strong network of people who support their goals.
So it's about creating a life that's aligned with your values and goals, and then making choices that support that vision.
Exactly. And you can think about it in terms of 4 key areas, sometimes called the 4 interior empires, that really need to be nurtured in order to achieve that kind of success.
4 interior empires. Again, this is getting really interesting. What are these empires?
Think of them like the pillars of a well-rounded and fulfilling life. There's your mindset, your heart set, your health set, and your soul set.
Wow, 4 different sets. And
Yeah.
we're not just focusing on like productivity hacks or goal setting. We're talking about developing ourselves on a much deeper level.
You got it. And we're going to dive deeper into each of these empires next time.
Amazing. Can't wait. All right, we're back, ready to explore these 4 interior empires.
Let's do it.
So where do we even begin?
Well, I think a good place to start is with mindset.
Mindset. Okay, remind me, what's that all about again?
It's like the foundation, the foundation of all our thoughts, beliefs, attitudes, all of that.
Right. And the book, The 5 a.m. Club, it emphasizes this idea that our thoughts, they have a huge impact on, well, on our reality.
They really do. If we believe we're capable of great things, we're more likely to put in the work, overcome those obstacles, and, actually achieve them.
But if we're stuck in this negative thought loop, telling ourselves we're not good enough or that we're going to fail, well, that's not exactly setting ourselves up for success.
No, it's not. It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy.
So how do we change those negative thought patterns? How do we shift our mindset to a more positive one?
One powerful technique is to start using affirmations.
Affirmations, like those positive statements people repeat to themselves.
Exactly. Think of them like little mental scripts that help to reprogram your subconscious mind.
I've always been a little skeptical of those. Do they actually work?
It's not about, magically wishing things into existence. It's about changing your internal dialogue. shifting from self-doubt to self-belief.
So instead of saying, I can't do this or I'm not good enough, we start saying things like, I am capable, I am strong, I am worthy.
Exactly. And by consistently repeating those positive statements, you start to believe them. And when you believe them, well, that changes your actions and ultimately your results.
It's like rewiring your brain for success. I
Yeah.
like that. Okay, so we've got mindset. What about heartset? How does that fit into the picture?
Heartset is all about your emotional well-being, cultivating positive relationships, choosing things like love over fear, gratitude over resentment, forgiveness over bitterness.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
But let's be honest, that's a tall order. How do we actually make those choices when, life throws us curveballs and we're feeling stressed or overwhelmed?
A great starting point is to practice gratitude. It sounds simple, but it's incredibly powerful.
Okay, gratitude. What does that look like in practice?
Just take a few moments each day, maybe first thing in the morning or right before you go to sleep, and think about the things you're grateful for.
Even if it's something small, like a sunny day or a good cup of coffee.
Exactly. It could be anything, big or small. The key is to shift your focus from what you lack to what you have.
So we're training ourselves to see the good even when things are tough.
Right. Because gratitude, it's a powerful antidote to negativity. It helps us to feel more content, more resilient, and more optimistic.
It's like a happiness booster shot.
You could say that.
So gratitude is key for building a strong heart set. What about forgiveness? I imagine that can be a really tough one for a lot of people.
It can be, but holding on to anger and resentment, it doesn't serve us. It just weighs us down and keeps us stuck in the past.
It's like carrying around a heavy backpack filled with rocks.
Exactly. Forgiveness, it's not about condoning someone's actions or saying that what they did was okay.
Hmm.
It's about letting go of the negative emotions that are holding you hostage.
So it's about choosing freedom over resentment.
Exactly.
That's a powerful shift in perspective.
Oh.
Okay, so we've got mindset, we've got heart set. What about health set? This one seems a little more straightforward, right? It's all about taking care of our physical bodies,
It is, but it's also about recognizing that our physical health is deeply connected to our mental and emotional well-being.
right? We can't expect to be at our best mentally or emotionally if we're neglecting our physical health.
Exactly. It's all interconnected.
So what are the key components of a strong health set?
The basics, really. Prioritizing sleep, nourishing our bodies with healthy foods, and making time for regular movement.
Those are the biggies, for sure.
Sure.
But I think it's easy to underestimate how much those things impact our overall well-being.
Totally. We often focus on the more exciting stuff, like setting big goals and achieving those milestones, but those daily habits, the ones that support our health, they're the foundation for everything
It's a
else.
clean house.
Yeah.
You need a strong foundation to support all those fancy features.
Exactly. And when we create a lifestyle that prioritizes health, we're maximizing our energy levels, we're improving our mental clarity, and honestly, we just feel more alive.
And that vitality, that energy, it spills over into every area of our lives, our work, our relationships, our passions, everything.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've covered mindset, heart set, health set. Last but not least, let's talk about soul set. This one, it feels a little more mysterious,
It does, doesn't it?
a little harder to define.
Yeah.
So how do we explain soul set?
Think about it like this. Soulset is all about connecting with your purpose. It's about aligning your actions with your values and going after goals that truly light you up inside.
I imagine this one looks different for everyone. What are some ways that people can cultivate their soul set?
It is a personal journey. For some, it's about their work. For others, it's about their relationships or maybe creative pursuits, spiritual practices, or even a combination of all of those things.
It's about asking those big questions like, what am I passionate about? What legacy do I want to leave behind? What impact do I want to make on the world?
Those are great questions. And it's not about, having all the answers figured out right away. It's about being open to exploring those questions and letting your purpose unfold over time.
So soul set is about connecting with that deeper sense of meaning and purpose. And the other three sets, mindset, heart set, and health set, they all support that journey.
Exactly. They're all interconnected.
It's a beautiful framework. And we've only just scratched the surface.
There's so much more to unpack.
I know. I'm excited to dive even deeper. So we spent a lot of time exploring these four interior empires, mindset, heart set, health set, and soul set, and how they can really transform our lives. It's a powerful framework. But Like with any approach to personal development, I guess it's important to acknowledge that there are different perspectives out there.
Oh, absolutely. And it's crucial to remember that no single approach is going to be a perfect fit for everyone. What resonates with one person might not resonate with another, and that's totally okay.
Right. We're all unique individuals with our own unique paths.
Exactly. The key is to find what feels authentic to you and, adapt these principles to fit your own circumstances and your own needs.
So it's about taking what resonates, what feels good, what feels right for you, and leaving the rest behind.
Precisely. You don't have to adopt the entire framework wholesale. Personal growth is a journey of self-discovery. It's about experimenting and learning and evolving. And sometimes that means letting go of ideas or practices that just don't serve you anymore.
I love that. It's a good reminder that we're all works in progress. There's no finish line when it comes to personal development. But how do we know which parts to embrace and which ones to let go of? It can be hard to sort through all the information out there.
I think it comes down to trusting your intuition. Pay attention to how you feel when you're engaging with these concepts. Does it feel exciting? Does it feel inspiring? If it does, lean into it. But if it feels forced or just doesn't resonate, don't be afraid to let it go.
That makes sense. Tune into your own inner wisdom.
Huh.
Because ultimately, we're the experts on our own lives, right?
Absolutely. You know yourself better than anyone else. And even if you don't adopt every single strategy or tactic, there are always valuable lessons to be learned from exploring different approaches to personal growth. It's like adding tools to your toolbox.
I like that analogy. We might not use every tool for every project, but it's good to have a variety of options at our disposal. Speaking of tools, are there any other practical strategies we can use to cultivate these four interior empires in our lives? Beyond the 5 a.m. wake-up call?
Yeah, for sure. One really powerful practice, regardless of what time you wake up, is to set aside a specific time each day for what's often called deep work.
Deep work. I've heard that term before. What exactly does it mean?
It's about dedicating a chunk of time, whether it's an hour, 90 minutes, even just 30 minutes, to focused, uninterrupted work on a single task.
Okay, so no multitasking, no checking email, no scrolling through social media, just pure focus.
Precisely. The idea is to eliminate all distractions and create a space where you can really immerse yourself in the task at hand.
It's like creating a deep work zone, a sanctuary for our productivity and creativity.
Exactly. And it can be challenging at first, especially in our hyper-connected world, but the benefits are immense.
I can imagine. So much of our time and energy is spent reacting to things, to emails, to notifications, to the demands of others. Deep work allows us to reclaim that time and focus on what truly matters.
Right. It's about being proactive rather than reactive. And that shift, that can be truly transformative.
It can. Okay, so deep work, that's a great tool. Anything else we can add to our arsenal?
Well, another incredibly powerful strategy for maximizing our potential is to surround ourselves with the right people. People who inspire us, challenge us, and support our growth.
So we're talking about the importance of community, of having a network of like-minded individuals who lift us up and encourage us to be our best selves.
Absolutely. We become like the people we spend the most time with, so it's crucial to be intentional about the company we keep.
It's like creating our own personal mastermind group, a group where we can share ideas, brainstorm solutions, celebrate each other's wins, and just generally support each other through the ups and downs of life.
I love that. That's a great way to think about it. And it's important to remember through all of this that personal growth, it's not just about achieving some external measure of success. It's about becoming the best versions of ourselves, living a life that feels aligned with our values and our purpose.
That's a beautiful sentiment. And it feels like a perfect place to wrap up this incredible deep dive. We've explored so many valuable concepts and strategies for creating a more fulfilling and intentional life, and I'm so grateful for your insights.
It's been a pleasure.
If you're listening and you want to delve deeper into these ideas, we highly recommend checking out the audiobook we mentioned, The 5 a.m. Club by Robin Sharma. You can actually find it for free using the link in our show notes.
Audiobooks are such a fantastic way to learn and grow, especially for those of us who are, busy. You can listen while you're commuting, exercising, doing chores, you name it. It's like turning downtime into learning time.
And they make a great gift for friends and family who might be looking for a little inspiration. If you enjoyed this deep dive, we'd love for you to hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and share this episode with anyone who you think might find it valuable. We're passionate about exploring these fascinating topics and bringing you insightful conversations that spark curiosity and personal growth.
Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep diving deep.